The human mind is one of the most fascinating creations in existence. It's capable of love, imagination, and invention. But it's also capable of manipulation, deceit, and darkness. Beneath our conscious awareness, psychology hides truths that most people would rather not face. Truths about how easily we can be influenced, how deeply our fears shape us, and how our own brains can turn against us. Today, we're diving into 5 dark psychological secrets about the human mind that will completely change the way you see yourself and everyone around you. 1. The illusion of free will. Every day, we make hundreds of decisions: what to wear, what to eat, who to talk to, what to believe. Most people think these choices are made freely, that we are the authors of our own lives. But psychology has revealed something disturbing. Much of what we call choice is an illusion. Studies in neuroscience show that our brains often make decisions milliseconds, or even seconds, before we become consciously aware of them. Researchers using brain scans found that they could predict a person's decision before that person consciously made it. That means our brains are acting first, and our conscious self is simply rationalizing the choice afterward. Think about that for a second. When you decide to order a coffee instead of tea, your brain may have already made that choice before you even thought about it. Your conscious mind just creates a story that makes it feel like you were in control. Psychologists call this the illusion of conscious will. It's our brain's way of keeping us sane, by making us believe we are the ones steering the wheel, even though a lot of the driving happens in the background. And it doesn't stop there. Our environment, our memories, and even our moods influence decisions in subtle ways we never notice. You might buy a product because of a certain color, a scent, or a tone in someone's voice. Tiny cues that bypass logic and hit directly at your subconscious desires. In short, your brain is constantly writing the script of your life, and your conscious mind is just reading the lines. 2. The brain's love for deception. We all lie, some more than others. But here's the dark truth: the brain doesn't just lie to others, it lies to you. Constantly. Psychology calls this cognitive dissonance, that uncomfortable feeling when your beliefs and actions don't match. Instead of facing that discomfort, your brain edits your reality to protect your ego. For example, if you see yourself as a good person but do something selfish, your mind might quickly justify it: I deserved it, or it's not a big deal. That little voice is your mind rewriting the truth, so you don't have to feel guilty. This is why eyewitness testimonies are often unreliable. Memory isn't a recording, it's a reconstruction. Every time you remember something, you're not watching a video of the past. You're rebuilding it, piece by piece, influenced by your current emotions, beliefs, and biases. Worse, the more often you recall a memory, the more distorted it becomes. Your mind fills in missing details with what it thinks should be there. Eventually, you can end up believing in events that never actually happened. It's called confabulation, and it's terrifyingly common. The human brain doesn't want truth, it wants comfort. It prefers a believable lie over an uncomfortable reality. And sometimes, this deception becomes collective. History itself is full of rewritten narratives, shaped not by facts but by the psychology of mass belief. We remember what feels right, not what's true. 3. The psychology of obedience and evil. One of the darkest discoveries in psychology came from a simple experiment at Yale University in the 1960s, the Milgram experiment. Participants were told they were helping with a study on learning and punishment. They were instructed to give electric shocks to another person every time that person answered incorrectly. What they didn't know was that the shocks were fake, and the other person was an actor. But the participants believed it was real. And shockingly, over 60% of them continued to administer increasingly dangerous shocks, some up to lethal levels, just because an authority figure told them to. This single experiment revealed something horrifying: ordinary people are capable of extraordinary cruelty, not because they're evil, but because they're obedient. The human mind has an instinct to follow authority. It's a deep-rooted survival mechanism. Our ancestors needed social order to survive. But that same instinct can turn dark when it overrides morality. History has proven this again and again, from soldiers following orders to commit atrocities, to everyday people who stay silent when they know something is wrong. The psychology of obedience shows how fragile morality can be when it comes into conflict with authority, fear, or conformity. And here's the truly disturbing part: most of the participants in Milgram's experiment believed they were good people. They weren't sadists. They just didn't want to disobey. Evil, it seems, often hides in ordinary minds. 4. The hidden power of the unconscious mind. Sigmund Freud once said that the mind is like an iceberg, only a small part of it is visible above the surface, while the rest lies hidden beneath. And modern psychology has proven him right in ways even he couldn't have imagined. Your unconscious mind is constantly at work, processing emotions, memories, and instincts far beyond your awareness. It decides what you notice, what you ignore, and how you react to people around you. Ever had a gut feeling about someone you just met? That's your unconscious mind picking up subtle cues, body language, tone, facial expressions, and calculating a judgment before your conscious mind even catches up. But there's a darker side to this. The unconscious mind can also control you through implicit bias, automatic judgments based on race, gender, or appearance that you don't even realize you're making. These biases influence who you trust, hire, or befriend, all while you believe you're being fair. The mind likes to think it's rational, but it's not. It's emotional, instinctive, and self-protective. It filters reality to match what you want to believe, and it hides memories that could threaten your self-image. That's why repressed memories, addictions, and trauma can live quietly in the unconscious for years, subtly shaping behavior without ever surfacing. People often don't understand why they fear certain things, sabotage relationships, or repeat toxic patterns, because the root lies buried deep in the subconscious, operating silently in the background. The real danger is that we often mistake familiarity for truth. The more often a thought passes through our minds, the more believable it becomes, even if it's false. That's how unconscious conditioning works. Repetition turns lies into beliefs, and beliefs into behavior. Through passive aggression, impulsive decisions, or even dreams. Jung believed that the only way to truly know yourself is to confront your shadow, to acknowledge the darkness within. Most people never do. They live in denial, wearing masks of morality while their hidden desires quietly steer their lives. And that's one of the darkest truths about human psychology. Sometimes, the person we fear most is the one inside ourselves. The mind's dark beauty. So what do these 5 secrets reveal? That the human mind is not simply good or evil, it's both. It's a battlefield of light and shadow, logic and illusion. We are creatures of reason and instinct, constantly deceiving ourselves just to survive emotionally. We crave control, but much of our behavior is driven by unconscious processes. We want to believe we are moral, yet under the right conditions, any one of us could commit terrible acts. And still, this complexity is what makes the mind so extraordinary. The same mechanisms that allow us to lie, obey, or desire also allow us to create art, fall in love, and imagine new worlds. The darkness in the human mind isn't just something to fear, it's something to understand. Because only by facing the shadows can we truly know ourselves. If you found this fascinating, remember, these truths aren't meant to scare you, but to awaken you. The more you understand the hidden forces inside your mind, the more control you gain over them. The darkness is real, but so is your ability to rise above it.